Well, hello everyone. Thank you very much for joining me. Yes, this is Jason, the Canadian YouTube creator, also known as Jason Cosmic RSSP Authority. Again, my present subscribers will know what RSSP stands for, but for you newbies out there, it stands for Real Secret Space Program. Way up there in space and way deep in space, millions of miles, as represented by my glorious photo in the infrared. And it says, infrared photograph of one of the gigantic cylindrical objects taken by the Hubble all the way in the rings of Saturn. That's right. But today, my friends, we are going to take a deep dive, how about that, into the F35. That's right. Lockheed Martin's F35. Okay, and this is going to be part 4, and I do hope for present subscribers and future subscribers, I hope you'll check the other parts on the series on the F35, because I'm giving a real hardcore assessment. I'm reading articles, I'm doing my best, and this is so important, my friends. It is totally unconstitutional. It is a social, immoral injustice. I truly believe that, my friends. And it's all about this. They're raiding the taxpayers on a plane that we absolutely don't need, my friends. No country needs it. And yet, as you'll see here in my video, it's worldwide now. This scam. It's a financial fleecing, financial harvesting. I describe it as, a duplicitous military business scheme and scam, my friends. It really is. And we know it's the biggest military program, the largest military weapon system and debacle that's ever been put forward, my friends, on this planet. It really is. The military, particularly Lockheed Martin, when it comes to the defense contractors, my friends, they are largely out of control. They've consolidated way too much power. They have shown, as I've said in the other video briefly, my friends, they really haven't shown any accountability. They have been divorced, from any unencumbered responsibility or accountability, my friends. When you're raiding the taxpayers, we're not just talking millions of dollars here, my friends. As I said in the other videos, it's over $1 trillion spent on this program. I think we're up to at least 1.5 trillion already. They said it was going to be, they admitted it, it's been over $1 trillion spent on this program already for 20 years, my friends. And now finally they're operational. Oh yes, bombing caves and tunnels with, as I said in the other video, right? These guys of ISIS, for example, whether it be ISIS or other, groups that are supposedly these terrorists, and could be a threat to the United States. I'm sure some are evil, but they've got rifles, and we're sending the F-35 with all these sophisticated sensors and radar, and they're bombing caves and tunnels. I mean, it's just so outlandish, right? But again, what better way to make your debut on an undefended target, right? So that just happened 2018, 2019, okay? So again, my friends, for over 20 years, I want you guys to be aware, over $1 trillion been spent on this ridiculous program. This is an absolute turkey of a plane, my friends. We're going to get into that in a moment. I mean, it's unbelievable. And so, my friends, it epitomizes Lockheed Martin's F-35. I've said this before too. It epitomizes fraud, waste, mismanagement, abuse of spending, fiscal irresponsibility. It absolutely does. I mean, can you imagine over $1 trillion spent on this program and nobody knew if it would ever even fly, man? It finally started flying. Oh my goodness. But really, I mean, come on. And it's just a mess by every measurement, my friends. It is a true mess, right? I mean, I describe it as these huge elephant defense contracts. You've got, of course, over budget, to say the least. How about $160 billion over budget Lockheed Martin were, for example, my friends, in 2014. Even 60 Minutes did a report on that. Again, you can find this in my series talking about that part, my friends. Over $160 billion over budget. And of course, reason, logic, common sense, just like my buddy Michael Schratt, the great aerospace historian, my friends. Can Lockheed Martin be that inept with not following procurement to be $163 billion over budget? Of course, the answer is no, right? Something else is going on here, my friends. And I explained that money's going elsewhere. And we'll get into it on future videos where it's going, I believe. Okay? So, and of course, you got initial overpricing on this thing and everything, right? But before we go on, my friends, just a quick reminder, if you guys do appreciate my intellectual honesty, because, you know, my intentions are pure, as I've said, my friends. I'm trying to be bold, honest, open, and true. I'm trying to help bring the much needed sufficient transparency. Together we could do that, my friends, and we could be advocates for the truth and break down the doors of this crazy elite secrecy. We absolutely can. We're starting to unpack more truth. What we got to continue to coalesce our ideas and thinking, my friends, and so we can, you know, manifest true beauty for ourselves on this planet and for each one another, right? And we can make a culture shift, cultural drive, and, you know, there's so many ways we can transform our world, my friends, and into so many positive, powerful ways. But we've got to have intelligent discourse, and one of them is on the F-35, right? Absolutely. And so, guys, if you appreciate my hard work and if you enjoy my videos, I hope you will subscribe. I hope you give me the thumbs up. I know we could take this channel to the next level. I hope you'll press the like button, and of course, feel free to share my videos and leave a comment if you want. I read them, okay? And I really thank the support from my present subscribers. Quick shout out to my buddy Joe from the Carolinas, the great YouTube star, Joe from the Carolinas. He did a wicked thumbnail for me on part 3 of the F-35. I hope you guys kind of like it. I'm pointing towards the F-35 plane, the turkey plane, yeah, on the thumbnail. So thank you very much, Joe, for that. I really do appreciate that. So, guys, let's go on here about the F-35. Let's state some real important facts here going on, okay? Let's continue this, right? So, in the initial inception of the F-35, you know, it was designed, of course, to replace, you know, planes like the F-16 Falcon, the F-15E Eagle, right? The A-10 Warthog. You've got, what was it? The FA, I think it was believed FA-18 Hornet, which is the mainstay for the military. You know, it's got really some good performance there. And you've got your AV-8B Harrier, I believe it's called. Okay? And so, and here's the thing, my friends. There has been so many piss-poor decisions, excuse my language, but really, with the F-35 debacle, my friends, with this duplicitous military scheme, I mean, here's an example. The idea of concurrency, for example, right? I mean, the Pentagon's desire, you know, one of them was to have this strategy, you know, this advantage strategy of concurrency, thinking they were going to lower the price of the aircraft, right, by building production design aircraft, while at the same time, you know, doing ground research design and, of course, experimental flight testing on this thing. They actually thought they could pull that off. But unfortunately, of course, it's the opposite, my friends, right? We've reached a point now where, again, they're rushing this thing now to get these planes developed. And of course, they've just done their operations attacking the militants with rifles. You don't need a sophisticated plane, of course, and all this technology, as was reported, to bomb, you know, militants with rifles hiding in caves somewhere, right? I said this on the last video, my friends. It's just outrageous. But that's what's going on, okay? And so, again, the idea was to replace this wide range of aircraft. And so they wanted, here's the mistake though, my friends. Here is the sin, as the F-35 critics will tell you, and I agree, my friends. The original sin of the jet plane and the aircraft, right, was that the Pentagon wanted to create a do-what-you-all-can warplane. You know, one-size-fits-all warplane, in other words, my friends, right? They wanted to create, the Air Force wanted, of course, and they designed the F-35A, the F-35B, which is for the Marines, which is the short takeoff, you know, and landing of this thing. And they got your F-35C for the Navy, of course, right? Well, that was a huge mistake. And even the great Pierce Spray, my friends, I've talked about this guy on other videos. He is the expert. When he is an F-35 critic, you should listen, my friends. And the guy has no reason to lie. He tells you it's a turkey plane. Look at the thing. We'll get into design in a moment, my friends, briefly. But so yeah, I mean, the idea of concurrency, they're rushing this thing now before they're building the first planes before, you know, the experiments are finally, you know, fully realized, right? It's just it's unbelievable. I mean, so my friends, there's been so many bad decisions, you know. I won't even get into all the technology problems. I discussed that briefly in the other videos with the problems with the sensors, you know, the cockpit displays, for example, the computers. They got problems with the helmet, apparently. Yes, and of course on the rejection seats now, apparently, all these problems, my friends. There has been so many problems, and a lot of this is reported, of the F-35, my friends. It is unbelievable, and it is not a good plane in many respects, my friends. And certainly, again, it's just a wasted money, my friends. The US are already armed to the teeth. And you know, guys, if you watched my other videos, and we'll be doing future videos more on it, once you know about the black budget technology, my friends, as well, the TR-3B, the black triangles, and you know who the prime contractor is. Do you know it? You guessed it, right. Lockheed Martin, absolutely. I briefly told you why Lockheed Martin, we can know that they're prime contractors for a lot of these black triangles, my friends. And it would literally leave the F-35s in the dust. And it has, with the Belgium incident, actually. A plane that would be very similar, is very similar to the F-35. That was the F-16s that chased them. Okay? This is just an example, my friends. When you look at the covert side, when you look at the black budget technology, again, it just goes to show even that much more, my friends. The US are armed to the teeth. They're protecting, they can protect themselves, they can protect my powerful country of Canada and any other country, my friends. There is absolutely no doubt about it. And yes, Russia and China are powerful in some ways, for sure, many ways, but they're no threat to the United States. The US are still ahead of the game when it comes to black budget technology, my friends, right? And why would Russia and China even bother, especially knowing how weaponized the US are, why would they even bother attempting to attack the United States or any other foreign power? You know, I agree, we need a strong military. Every country should, my friends, for the most part, right? But again, the US, so they're already armed to the teeth, my friends. The F-35 is just a distraction. And again, it's money raiding on the US taxpayers, and it's just a huge, huge cash cow for guess who? Lockheed Martin. That's right, my friends. You know, one of the interesting articles, it was somewhat interesting, I read was from, you know, a Popular Mechanics magazine, right? They did a very good article overall. And they talked about the Pentagon and, you know, just using that term, they called it a $1 trillion albatross, you know, that's flying now, right? I described it as a $1 trillion turkey. And again, way over $1 trillion now spent on this thing, my friends. And it just keeps going on and on and on. By the way, they said, you know, based just a couple years ago, I think in 2016, they said if the schedule, you know, goes to the way they think the schedule will go, or they hope the schedule will go, they're talking about 18 years, my friends. 18 years? They're going to try to raid the taxpayers? Are you kidding me? You see, my friends, the problem we have is there's been so much money put into this program, there's no going back, right? That's the problem. This is why we got to have more intelligent discourse, my friends, and we need to revolt, man. We need to do a peaceful march, you know, on things like this, and just call out Lockheed Martin, my friends, and the Pentagon. You know, I said on the other videos, the generals, for example, they've got their reputations riding on this thing now, my friends, because for years they've been backing this thing, right? So between a lot of the generals, the lobbyists, they convinced Congress to go along with this. I describe it as a military scam or duplicitous business scheme, my friends. This financial harvesting, financial fleecing, again, draining so much money from U.S. citizens, my beautiful people in Canada, my friends, and countries around the world. Absolutely. And speaking other countries around the world, of course, my friends, right? Part of that inception, when they created the JSF program, the Joint Striker Fighter F-35, they wanted to spread this thing worldwide, as I think I said earlier, right? They want it, now we've got 8 foreign nations that are involved in this thing, I believe, right? We've got, of course, my powerful country, Canada. We've got the likes of Australia, Denmark, Netherlands. So I said Canada, we're up to 4, right? We've got Italy, Norway. We've got, of course, United Kingdom, the UK, and the United States. If I forgot one, I apologize, but I think we got 8 there. So, I mean, yeah, and we got foreign, of course, foreign country customers like Japan. We've got, who's the other foreign customers? Of course, is Israel. I told you before, my friends, also, Israel were probably the first to draw the first bloodshed using the F35 flying over, you know, into Afghanistan. Of course, the United States did their attack, too, on caves and tunnels. I mean, give me a break, Lockheed Martin. But so there's Israel, Japan, and who's the other foreign country? There's 3 of them anyway. Oh, South Korea. And 2 of them in 2016 had already purchased, I guess, some F-35s there. I don't know if all 3 now have purchased it or not. I'll keep you up to date. But the bottom line is we've got 8 partner countries, my friends, this coalition of partner nations now, right, that are not only flying and producing the aircraft, but as I said, they're supporting it worldwide, my friends. How Lockheed Martin conned these countries into, you know, procuring and investing in this program, I'll never understand. Except that it just shows Lockheed Martin's propaganda machine, my friends, they always got their foot on the gas, right? Again, they were even successful in conning Congress. But all you have to look at too, my friends, when you look at Lockheed Martin's propaganda machine, and they're just consolidating way too much power, they're controlling all the data in the U.S. federal government, my friends. I showed you and talked about that in future videos, past videos, excuse me. So that's why I want you guys to watch my other videos. They absolutely are, my friends. You got a military contractor controlling all the data in the U.S. federal government. That's a serious problem, okay? And so it's no wonder that they even won the contract to begin with, you know, in 1996 there, when they were in competition with Boeing, of course, right? So, again, over 20 years, what we're at, 23 years now on this ridiculous program, my friends, okay? And you know, there was quite a few things that that article in Popular Mechanics didn't talk about. You know, they didn't mention, for example, that this plane's got its own name now. Guess what it is? How about the plane that broke the Pentagon's back? That's one of the names, my friends. That's right. Because, again, Lockheed Martin were over $163 billion over budget in 2014. Again, over $1 trillion spent on this program. That's worth repeating, I think, right, my friends? I mean, come on. So, again, it's got its own name. And we're at a point in the F-35 where I've told you before on other videos, my friends, right, that we've reached a point where it costs more to repair the aircraft than it does to fly it. Absolutely. Again, this thing hardly has any wings on it. It can't even turn well, my friends. And as I said before, you know, and Pierce Spray will tell you the same thing, and Michael Schratt, it's not going to do anything in a low altitude ground troop support operation because it can hardly turn. And it goes so fast, you can't spot targets with your eyeballs. So they're relying on all these so-called sophisticated electronics. I mean, come on. I mean, speaking of electronics and radar, my friends, stealth is just a scam, by the way, in the military. They keep saying how stealthy the plane is, right? They even call it a stealth fighter, for example. You know, different names. I agree with Pierce Spray when he says stealth is just a scam. Other countries like Russia and China and other countries, my friends, they figured a long time ago how to get the radar section, cross-section on these planes, including the F-35. I mean, come on. But what is stealthy, my friends, and we will do more comparisons in the future, I promise, on the TR-3B and the F-35. This thing has a radar system embedded in the craft. It's got a special polymer outer coverage. It can hover, unlike the F-35, and this thing can accelerate thousands of miles an hour within seconds, my friends. Absolutely. And it's free energy. Absolutely. And the F-35 can't do any of this. It's got no performance characteristics that would ever compete with things like the TR-3B. And yet the prime contractor is Lockheed Martin, my friends. So, you know, yes, I'm very hard on Lockheed Martin in some ways, my friends. But I will, and rightly so, and we all should be, seeing what they're doing in their behavior, my friends. It's outrageous, rating the taxpayers like this. This is crazy. But I will give Lockheed Martin credit, my friends. They have some of the best engineers and scientists. They made a lot of breakthroughs. There's no question about it. And I just hope that, like I said in other videos, I hope we can compel the good people in Lockheed Martin to stop with this debacle, right? And let us, the public, let's fight the good fight on this, and also compel Lockheed Martin and the Pentagon to stop raiding the taxpayers. Let's discontinue this program. Because, again, here's another example, my friends. I said in the last video, right? The F35, it has no opportunity really to engage in an enemy that's got sophisticated sensors or surface-to-air missiles, right? Who's the enemy? I mean, come on. If they're going to do a bombing campaign, as I said too, it would have to be, if you're going to have a sophisticated enemy, it would have to be like Russia, China, or Iran, for example, right? Or North Korea even. I mean, but if they're going to be in a bombing campaign with one of those countries, and I don't think they ever will in the near future, I certainly hope not, then we all know, of course, sophisticated sensors, radar, whatever technologies, the F-35, the technological prowess on this thing is going to be the least of American worries, okay, building this thing, right? And when you're bombing these powerful countries. So we got to put this into perspective, my friends. It's just so outlandish what's going on. And I believe obviously it's a social moral injustice, right? It's unconstitutional what they've done, my friends. It really is. I hope you guys agree with me. And this is why I'm doing a series on the F-35, to show you guys and demonstrate what Lockheed Martin and the Pentagon have done, my friends, and particularly Lockheed Martin, gouging the taxpayers on this thing. It's just crazy, okay? So thank you very much for listening, my friends. We'll do more on the F-35, I promise. And we'll do more on the TR-3B, those black triangles, and so much more, my friends, on this UFO technology, the black budget technology, okay? Because it's vital, and I think you'll find it fascinating, hopefully. And again, if you guys enjoy my videos, appreciate my intellectual honesty, and appreciate my visceral engagement with you guys and gals out there, then please don't hesitate to subscribe. Again, give me that thumbs up, share my videos, and leave a comment. I want to monopolize this channel eventually, like a lot of us do with our YouTube channels if we can, because after all, I got some subscribers, thankfully, that even want to buy some of my shirts, which I'm grateful for. And I want to be able to fulfill that. But I need to, obviously you need to make enough money to do so, right? And not go in debt. So speaking of in debt, my friends, Lockheed Martin, again, they've caused a lot of heartache and stress, as we can see with all this gouging of taxpayers, my friends. Over $1 trillion spent on this program for over 20 years. And we'll get into, again, we'll go over how much money my powerful country, Canada, spent on the F-35, and the UK and other countries, my friends. I touched on in other videos, and we'll do it again, okay? Just to remind you guys, and for anybody new to my channel, on the F-35 series in particular. So again, thank you very much, guys. I hope you'll subscribe. Take care. Have a great day, by the way. Bye-bye.